welcome to Rulebreaker. Today we're going to take a look at the exploration action in Twilight Imperium 4th edition Prophecy of Kings. We'll also take a quick look at legendary planets and how they work. Okay, so to do the exploration stuff in the game, you're going to need these cards that come in the expansion. The three here match the different planet symbols that you may be familiar with from the base game. So you may be familiar with these as the industrial, hazardous and cultural planets. They're mentioned in the main rulebook on the back there in the planet trait section. If you ever mix them up, I know I do every game. That's basically an extra function for those planets in the game now. The other type of cards are these frontier, exploration cards and relics, which we'll go into in a minute. So during setup, when you're using Prophecy of Kings, you're going to have to put some of these frontier tokens out on the board. They only go in systems that have no planets in them, like blank spaces such as these, and also hazardous, dangerous hexes with the red outline here, like a supernova. You also don't place them in home systems or systems with any planets whatsoever on them. Alright, so let's put some units out on the board and I'll explain how exploration works. Let's just put a carrier with a bunch of infantry on it here. Doesn't matter what faction you are, it always works the same way. And also for this example, I'm going to stick an enemy unit down on one of the planets that we're going to use in the example. So let's say it's my turn and I'm the pink player, and I activate this system here with Mahar Zul in it. I'm going to fly my carrier in with all of my guys, and I'm going to land on Mahar Zul to control it. As soon as you do that, you explore that planet. And in the case of Mahar Zul, it has this red symbol on it here, which is for the hazardous type, which matches this deck. And what you're going to do is you're immediately going to draw one of these cards and resolve the effect. So in the case of this one, it says volatile fuel source. If you have at least one mech on this planet, or if you remove one infantry from this planet, gain one command token. And there are lots of cards like this. They all have different effects. There's a couple of duplicates of this one because I haven't shuffled this deck yet, but there's all different kinds of effects that happen and things that happen to different planets. I'm not going to spoil any more of those cards for you. I'll let you figure them out in your first play of the game, but it really is that simple. Likewise, if you decide to fly into a different system, let's say we go into this one here with the rest of our troops, and let's say we want to take Graal away from the orange player. We get into combat, we drop a couple of guys down, infantry, we win the fight and we control Graal. In this example, you actually don't explore because the system was already controlled by a different player. It's already been explored by them in a previous round or turn, so you don't draw the card here from the green symbol, the industrial planet. So in this particular example, you wouldn't explore at all. However, even though it's the same system, if there was no enemy troop down on Centauri, you can drop your guy down here and draw one of these cultural planet cards like this. Okay, again, not going to spoil any of those cards for you. You can discover those when you play. There is an exception to the way exploring works when you are doing exploring of these frontier tokens. In order to fly in here and explore this token, you're going to need the dark energy tap technology. This technology is one of the new ones that comes in the game. It's a blue technology that you can get without any prereqs, and it reads: after you perform a tactical action in a system that contains a frontier token, if you have one or more ships in that system, explore that token. Okay, so in this case, if I had dark energy tap, I would remove this token from the hex and I would draw from the frontier thing. Now in this case, I've gotten a relic card. Now this is a wild relic. It counts as any fragment of any of the three normal types. Where do you get the other types? Well, they're in each of these decks here. So an example here is the cultural relic fragment. Okay, if you draw one of these, it doesn't really do anything on its own, but if you collect 3 of them, you'll see here that the action says purge 3 of your cultural relic fragments to gain 1 relic. So collect 3 of the same type, and that means that you can draw from this deck here, the relic deck. Now these relics are super powerful. Each one of these that I've seen so far has been really, really strong. Again, I'm not going to spoil these for you. I'll give you a quick fan out of the cards to show you that they have a lot of text on them, but they essentially can be quite big deal. They can be game changers. So if you're exploring, try and get sets of the same stuff in order to get these relic cards. They can be really big deal in the game. The way that you draw these is essentially you just take 3 of your fragments, purge them from the game, which is basically throw them back in the box, and then you just draw the top one off the top of the deck. You don't get to search through the deck and pick one. You just draw from the top and you get it, and that's yours. And that's how exploration works in the game. It really is as simple as that. The other new thing I wanted to show you in this video was these new frontier planets, legendary planets. These are denoted with a special symbol. As you can see here, it's kind of looks like a sort of like a sunrise kind of symbol. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Maybe an eclipse symbol. They're very similar to just having normal planets, except that these planets have a bonus. Okay, so Hope's End in this example here, if we were to fly our carrier into this system, land some units onto the system, we would control Hope's End just like normal. We would get the card that you're familiar with. Likewise, it is exhausted when you get it, just like every other system. However, legendary planets have this other card that comes with them. Okay, in the case of Hope's End here, it's this beautiful landscape style card, and when you flip it over, it has some text on the side. So it says here, Imperial Arms Vault. You may exhaust this card at the end of your turn to place 1 mech from your reinforcements on any planet you control, or draw an action card. So exhausting this card would be flipping it over upside down. So you basically get to do it once per turn. Yeah, that's a special ability that goes with the planet. If someone was to come along and steal Hope's End from you, they would take the card, but they would also take the ability card with it. So these become quite useful utility cards throughout the game. There are other ones. There is Primor, Malice, and Mirage. These all have very different abilities, and again, I'm not going to spoil these for you because they're quite interesting in your first play, but I'd say have a look at those special abilities in your own time. They're super fun and they add a little bit more mystery to the game. And that is it for this very short episode of Rulebreaker. I just wanted to cover exploration before going into detail on each of the different factions, because it may come up, and to give people a bit more context on some of the new gameplay mechanisms in the expansion. So hopefully this was useful to you. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, support the channel, and yeah, come back for more. There'll be lots more Twilight Imperium content coming up very, very soon. Thank you.